Outside Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and a daughter have filed an appeal against the conviction in the Evanfield Properties corruption case in the Islamabad High Court today. Nawaz Sharif and daughter Maryam were sentenced to 11 and 8 years in prison respectively by an accountability court. So now, since both of them have been lost inside two different facilities, they were taken to different facilities to be kept behind bars. Now, it will be seen whether they'll be allowed to file an appeal in the court. These are the visuals when they came. And I'm also joined by Ahmed Shaheen, senior journalist from Pakistan, on phone line with us. Mr. Shaheen, tell us what is likely to happen today and what sort of permissions will the Sharifs will get in terms of going through the judicial requirement at the upper courts?
Could you repeat the last part of your question?
What will be the permissions which Sharif will be getting from army in approaching high judiciary?
Right now, as we know, Nawaz Sharif's lawyers have filed appeal. Today was the last day to file the appeal, and along with many other reasons, this is probably one of the strongest reasons why Maryam Nawaz's daughter and Nawaz Sharif came back to Pakistan, because the appeal could not have been filed in their absence, and it had to be filed within the 10 days. Otherwise, their conviction would have been full and final. Now, what can be on the grounds? The main grounds are that Maryam Nawaz Sharif, the accusation against Maryam Nawaz Sharif is a very simple one: use of a letter that uses calligraphy font. So they have said that the person who has accused her of forgery of calligraphy font, of using calligraphy font before it was even released by the makers. That claim does not have the veracity, because the same person who is accused of forgery has also mentioned that calligraphy font was available at that time too. It was downloadable. So, and they've also said that the investigation officer, these are the basic main points, the investigation officer of the case was not very well informed about the case. They've also talked about a lot of material being admitted without it being admitted in presence of witnesses. I mean, there are reports that are submitted, but they are not signed, so they don't know about the how authentic these reports are. So they have filed the appeal, and it is anybody's guess. I mean, because it is not just on legal points that the judiciary is perceived to decide on this case. So what happens next is anybody's guess, because it could be a simple case where they could just argue this case and be absolved of all accusations, or it could also be a repeat of what has been happening in Pakistan to elected prime ministers, and their appeal is quashed. So it's anybody's guess right now what will happen. It's not just a legal battle, it's a power battle, it's a political battle as well.
So, Mr. Shaheen, you are saying that it's not only about the judicial do's and don'ts and what is judicially correct, feasible or wrong, but the fact is there's a power struggle between the Sharifs and the army. But is it possible to have a power struggle with deep state like army in Pakistan?
Yes and no. It is possible to have a power struggle with the military only if the power struggle ends up in some kind of a negotiation. If you struggle enough and if you fight well, then the maximum victory you get is an ability to make a deal and survive. If you don't, then you can be hanged, as it has happened, or imprisoned, as it has happened, or if you're lucky, be allowed, and if you have friends outside the country, be allowed to escape the country and return decades later. So these are the options. It has never happened that military rulers have been punished in Pakistan, even though many a times they have gone to the courts and admitted to helping political parties get into power and subverting the course of justice, breaking the constitution, and many other really serious crimes in Pakistan, but they've never been punished. So it's always the politician that defines, the maximum defiance one has given, historically speaking, is that in the end they have apologized and run away, or they've been sent to the gallows. People are expecting, if anything comes in the favor of Nawaz Sharif, this will be Pakistan's history in the making.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Shaheen, for sharing your perspective. As you very rightly pointed out, that you can have a power play with Pakistani army, but it can only be successful if you come to a deal. If there is no deal, then there are precedents of people going into exile, jail, or hanged.